My name's Shinju Nozawa-Auclair. I'm training at a scorpion fighting system in Brighton, Michigan. I originally started karate actually when I was younger, and then I took a break from that. I focused on ballet growing up, and I found my way back when I found myself with a bunch of spare time doing college courses. I went into boxing knowing that I wanted to eventually go into MMA, but I was kind of in the middle of nowhere. I didn't really have a gym where I can do MMA, so I found a little tiny boxing gym behind a deer processing meat smoker place. This guy runs this little butcher shop and has a boxing gym in his garage. Yeah, that was actually what sparked my interest into coming back to combat sports. Was watching a lot of UFC, obviously, and different MMA events. I always wondered, had I stayed in karate, would I be able to reach that? And jumping back into it, I never thought it would transition this quickly into, actually competing and such. But I'm really happy that's where I'm at. I think originally, right off of the bat, I was drawn to a lot of the female fighters. I think the actual fight that first got me thinking that I wanted to give it a try was I watched the Felice Herring and Paige Van Zandt fight. And I thought it was really cool. You have these two girls in there that, don't look like typical fighters, and they're in there kicking ass, and I thought it was awesome. And I was living in San Francisco at the time when I lived there. That's where I'm from. My family and friends are there. So I didn't have time to really jump into it, but I ended up moving to Michigan, and I had so much free time. I was like, this is the perfect time to jump in, give it a go, see what I can do. I transferred schools. I originally moved with a guy out here. We transferred in our junior year together. And so, yeah, I didn't know anybody. I didn't start classes right away, so I had a bunch of free time. When I first started looking online, it was actually really hard for me to find a place to train because I was up in Mount Pleasant, which, there isn't a lot out there. It's mainly just like the casino in central Michigan. It wasn't until I moved down to Lansing that I started learning about all these different gyms, and I eventually found my way to Scorpion Fighting System. That's when I realized how big Michigan MMA was. I'm bartending. I do a lot of morning sessions as well. I'm in there with my coach in the mornings. I get in as many nights as I can. Right now, I'm not bartending too many times. I was able to cut back a lot. So, yeah, I'm in there at least 5 times a week. The bar I work at's a bunch of regulars, so, we get to know each other, and they all know. And at this point, they know. But I think at first, they didn't believe me, I think, until they saw some of the videos. I went down to Ohio, and they have a no head kick for amateurs rule. That was me and my camp's fault for not looking into that, but we didn't know that until the rules meeting that there were no head kicks allowed. Obviously, in training, you repeat things until they're muscle memory, and I kept seeing the opening for the head kicks. I tried to pull back on them once I realized what was going on, but one of them, I was a little too late. I ended up clipping her in the face, and I was disqualified. It's a MMA match, you would never expect that head kicks were not allowed, So that I was shocked when I first heard that. I went to a KOP event. I would say, I would think it was at the end of March, the middle of March that I went to. A couple of my teammates were fighting on that card. I went there. The venue was awesome. My teammates said that Matt treated them incredibly well, and I was really drawn to the production. And so, I got in contact with Matt. I told him that I was interested in fighting for him, and he actually said that he had a girl that was asking for a match with me, and it worked out perfectly. I'm really excited. I definitely have a reach on her. She's 5'1", but I think that's something that I'm going to see in all of my matches. I think I definitely will be the taller fighter most of the time. That being said, I do think the smaller girls are going to try to take me down, whereas I'm going to try to keep it standing, obviously. I know she's a very talented jiu-jitsu practitioner, so she's definitely going to try to, clinch and take it to the ground. I'm going to try to keep it standing for sure. My coach, Brian Fornacero, he's in there. We're 5 times a week at least. We're doing privates, and then I have my teammates going in with me. There's some really talented people in that gym. We have Amanda Cooper, we have Zach Shaw and Josh Shaw, the brothers out there. Bunch of girls, Haley Turner, Sarah Jones are, my main, I would say, sparring partners when we're in there. love having the amount of people that we have in the gym. It's not that I go in with the intention to train with one person. I get a mix of all types of girls. I have 2 girls on the team that have fought Alyssa already, so I get to train with both of them. It's awesome. I keep my weight pretty close to, so the cuts aren't a huge deal for me. I never really worried about my weight. Yeah, I can get it down for sure. It's no issue. I always want the finish, you know. That's always a goal for, I think, any fighter going into a fight. If it's not, I don't know what you're doing, but I would like to stop the fight for sure. TKO, something like that early on. It's always ideal. Not just for flyweights, but women in general. You're seeing like a transition from kind of the brawling, you know, going crazy type of fights, and you're seeing more technical, very talented women who are coming up, very evolved athletes. I'm actually gonna be fighting for RIZIN after. I'm not sure how many more amateur fights we're gonna do, but that's planned. There's talk of a couple different dates. Some people are, you know, kind of considering the idea of July, and then we also have talked about December. So it's gonna be, you know, we have a gap. I'm not sure quite when we're gonna be ready, but we'll figure it out. It's going to be The Office over and over again. I've ran through that 9 seasons, I don't know how many times. I'm late to the game, but I started watching Narcos, and I'm in the middle of the first season right now. Middle of the first season right now. I'm liking it. First of all, I want to thank Scorpion Fighting System, all of the teammates out there, the coaches, the training partners. They're so cool. I love being there. It makes training fun for sure. You can find me mostly on Instagram is where I'm going to be at. It's Shinju_Auclair. I want to thank Undercard. They've sponsored me from the past couple of fights. They've been awesome. And I want to thank RIZIN as well. They took a huge chance on me. You know, they signed me when I only had the 2 amateur fights, and they still believed in me enough to, you know, sign me. So that's really cool of them.